Hare Krishna, Gauranga Darshan Prabhuji. Whenever you are ready, you can start, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I welcome all the devotees for this 8th session on our Vaishnava character series. In the last 7 sessions, we have discussed on many topics like tolerance, humility, forgiveness, gratitude, and basically the importance of Vaishnava etiquette and importance of having developing Vaishnava character along with doing our sadhana and seva, etc. So now today we will discuss another topic. Compassion also we discussed, right, last couple of sessions. So today we'll discuss another topic which is very much relevant for practicing devotees, that is satisfaction. And if time permits, we will also discuss another topic, not craving for credits. Okay, so let me begin with satisfaction. Bhagavatam says, even Bhagavad Gita also says, emphasizing on satisfaction. What is satisfaction? We should not be so eager to gather more and more material goods, or we should not be so eager to perform unnecessary material activities for enjoyment, increasing our comforts and facilities. So that is satisfaction. One should be happy with whatever comes by the Lord's grace with one's own honest efforts. That is satisfaction. Yadrichayopapannena santushto vartate sukham na santushtastribhirlokair ajitatmopasaditah. Yadrichaya upapannena. If one receives something by one's own honest efforts, destiny, and the Lord's sanction, such a person is called satisfied person. Because discontent can never give happiness. Only a satisfied heart can experience santosha. Santushti leads to santosha. A person who is not self-controlled, a person who is constantly hankering for more and more material goods or name, fame, prestige, etc., etc., cannot be happy even in the three worlds, even after possessing the three worlds, right? So, dayaya sarva bhuteshu santushtya yena kenava sarvendriyopashantya cha tushyatya sujanartanaha. Dayaya sarva bhuteshu. Daya means compassion. Santushtya means satisfaction. Okay. So these are the qualities emphasized in Srimad Bhagavatam. We should be merciful, compassionate towards all living beings that we discussed in the last couple of weeks. Then sarva santushtya yena kenava, being satisfied with whatever comes on its own accord. Not that we don't do any endeavor to earn something, but that endeavor has to be balanced with satisfaction. Like atyaharaha prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha. Even in Upadeshamrita by Rupa Goswami, it's mentioned. Ati ahara means eating too much or accumulating more than what is necessary. And prayasa means overly endeavoring to accumulate. These two are connected. Atyahara and prayasa. Atyahara is the tendency to accumulate more. Prayasa is the effort to do so. Right? So these two are these two plus along with four more. Atyahara, prayasa, prajalpani, magraha. There's a big list there. 6 items are there. Shadvir bhaktir vinashyati. These 6 items will destroy our bhakti. So when there is satisfaction of heart, that satisfaction nourishes our bhakti and helps us relish Krishna's qualities and perform our bhakti nicely. But if there is no satisfaction, there is constant hankering and lamenting and longing for material comforts and material facilities and even subtle facilities like name, fame, prestige, etc. That will ruin our absorption in bhakti. Right? In fact, one who selflessly renders service to Krishna will automatically derive satisfaction. Satisfaction is in selflessness, not in selfishness. So one who selflessly serves Krishna and Vaishnavas will naturally be satisfied, and that's a promise. Right in the beginning of Bhagavatam, it is said that Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radhokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Savai pumsam paro dharmo, the supreme dharma of all living beings is to perform unmotivated and uninterrupted devotional service to Krishna. And that will satisfy the self. Yayatma suprasidati. We derive satisfaction of heart only to the degree our service to Krishna is selfless and uninterrupted. Okay, when there is no satisfaction, when our service is not selfless, but when the service is tinged with desires for material comforts, facilities, etc., etc., that bhakti will not satisfy Krishna, then bhakti will not satisfy ourselves also. Because when we are hankering for something, when we don't get it, the heart is filled with dissatisfaction. And when we get it, the heart is filled with more hankering for more things. Right? So, that asha means that the desire for something will kill our satisfaction. Asha hi parabam dukkham nairashyam paramam sukham. Material desire is cause of distress, while no material desires will destroy distress. Right? So yes, a devotee is never satisfied in the sense that whatever may be the amount of harikatha a devotee hears, devotee wants to hear more and more. Whatever may be the amount of seva that a devotee renders, the devotee wants to do more and more service. So devotee is definitely not very satisfied. The more a devotee he chants the holy names, the more he feels like chanting. Okay. There is no satiation. That's the right word. There is no satiation, but there is satisfaction. There is satisfaction in a devotee's life in the sense that, yes, I am satisfied with this activity, spiritual activity, whether it is Shravanam or Kirtanam or Dhyanam or whatever it may be. I am satisfied with these devotional activities. I don't look for satisfaction in anything else. But I am not satisfied in the sense that how much ever I perform devotional service, I feel like doing it more and more and more. Okay. So there's a satiation in material enjoyment. There is no satiation in Krishna's seva. So an advanced Brahmana is always satisfied with his spiritual understanding. Like when we sincerely read the scriptures, that sincere reading of Gita, Bhagavatam, etc. naturally gives satisfaction of heart. Because what is scripture? It's a description of Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, and our own Tattva. Okay, the scripture inspires us to derive satisfaction on a spiritual plane and relinquish our inclination to satisfy ourselves on a material plane. The normal constitutional position of a fully satisfied person is bliss, right? For us to be satisfied in spiritual activity is normal, natural for us. But that natural state of consciousness is tinged with unnaturality, where we aspire for inactivity on a spiritual plane and hyperactivity on a material plane. Okay, so bhakti gives highest satisfaction to the soul, and that satisfaction is derived by ahituki and apratihata. You know, the Lord is called Atmaram. Atmaram means one who is self-satisfied. Okay, a devotee is also called Atmaram. Why? A devotee is satisfied in satisfying the self-satisfied Lord. He doesn't need anything beyond this for his satisfaction. So a devotee is satisfied in service to Krishna. The Lord is satisfied in his relationship with the Lord. And when our satisfaction is on this plane, then that is the right kind of satisfaction. Okay. So sometimes the satisfaction is derived on a physical plane, sensual satisfaction. My tongue is satisfied with tasty food. My ears are satisfied with pleasant music. And my nose is looking for satisfaction of a pleasant fragrance. And my hands are looking for the satisfaction of touching some soft objects. But what is the satisfaction of the inner self? So there is constant endeavor for satisfying one's senses. But inside there is something else. What is that? Soul. Between the soul and this gross physical body, there is another thing. That is subtle body. Some people hanker more for satisfaction of the mind. Okay, let my mind be satisfied with emotions, material emotions. And some people want satisfaction at an intellectual plane. If I have some creative ideas, and if I implement the creative ideas and get success in it, my intelligence is satisfied. Okay, when I outsmart someone else with my talents, with my power, with my dominating capability, my ego is satisfied. Right? So people look forward for satisfaction on a physical plane, mental plane, intellectual plane, and egoistic plane. But the real satisfaction is experienced on a spiritual plane, on the level of soul. So soul is looking for satisfaction in Krishna Bhakti, in Krishna Prema, in Krishna Seva, in Krishna Nama. So that's where the soul derives satisfaction from. Mind can derive satisfaction from some emotions, feelings, which is required. Yes, we need some satisfaction on physical plane also, mental plane also. We need that. We are not denying that natural need of a living being, but we are also emphasizing that don't just stick to the satisfaction that you derive on a gross bodily plane or a subtle bodily plane. Come to the level of soul. Okay. So how long we will just be looking for satisfaction of the mind through appreciation by others? When someone appreciates us, glorifies us, praises us, the mind derives some kind of satisfaction in it. Yes, we need to appreciate devotees, right? And we can take others' appreciation as an encouragement and continue to do our service. That is also fine. But our inspiration to render service to Krishna and Vaishnavas should not be dependent on the appreciation or glorification that we receive. Whether I am praised for my activities or not, I will perform this activity because my agenda in doing this service is to satisfy Krishna. So for Krishna's satisfaction, I serve, and that gives me satisfaction. And that appreciation that comes is a byproduct. It can come sometimes, it need not come sometimes. Okay. Sometimes appreciation becomes very uncomfortable also to accept. And dissatisfaction is experienced when there is no absorption in our core devotional activities. Dissatisfaction is experienced when our activities are not purely connected with Krishna. Okay. Although our intentions may not be selfish, we are selfless, we may be compassionate. At intention level, there is purity also. But unless the activities which we perform are connected to Krishna, even with pure intentions, we cannot derive satisfaction. Let me tell you an example that makes things more clear. Vyasadeva, with pure intent, with great compassion, he divided one Veda into 4. He wrote so many scriptures like Puranas, Mahabharata, Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra, so many things he has written. But he was not satisfied at heart. Vyasadeva, the transcendental author, the Shaktiavash avatar of the Lord, he is not satisfied at heart even after writing so much of Vedic literatures with a pure intention to help the Kali Yuga people, with great compassion upon them. But he is dissatisfied at heart. Why? His own introspection reveals, and Narada Muni's analysis also reveals. So what is that revelation? The revelation was that Vyasadeva overly emphasized 4 Purusharthas, and he did not sufficiently glorify direct bhakti yoga unto Krishna. Okay. He did not repeatedly glorify Krishna's pastimes, and he did not sufficiently emphasize on the path of bhakti yoga. Therefore, there is satisfaction. So what does that mean? Although you speak a lot about 4 Purusharthas, how to live happily in this world, how to attain Svargaloka, how to do this, how to do that, you may have 100 different, you may have done great things with pure intention also. But what gives you satisfaction ultimately is connection with Krishna. Because what Vyasadeva has written so far is not fully connected with Krishna. Yes, there is some Krishna element in what he has written earlier, but it's not sufficient. There is no sufficient glorification of Krishna and Krishna Bhakti in what Vyasadeva has written. Therefore, he is dissatisfied. Okay. But he immediately realized the reason for his dissatisfaction, and he was fortunate enough to get guidance from his guru Narada Muni. Then he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, sufficiently and repeatedly glorifying Krishna and Krishna Bhakti, that completely filled with filled his heart with satisfaction, right? So, although our intentions are pure, we cannot be satisfied unless mm, we are connecting all our activities and thoughts with Krishna and Krishna Bhakti. Samsiddhir haritoshanam. The satisfaction of heart is dependent on how much we are endeavoring sincerely to satisfy Krishna. A sadhaka may do some seva. Sometimes in the mind of a sadhaka, the seva is being done for one's own satisfaction, not for Krishna's satisfaction. If I do this, Krishna will be pleased, Guru will be pleased, Vaishnavas will be pleased. If that is my intention, and if I'm stretching myself so much to satisfy Guru, Krishna and Vaishnavas, that will naturally satisfy me. But if I'm doing some service for my own self-aggrandizement, for deriving name, fame, prestige, for getting more material comforts and facilities, that will not satisfy me. I'll keep on hankering for more and more and more and more. Okay, on a material plane. A pure devotee also may seem to be hankering for more and more. Although he has accomplished a lot. For example, Prabhupada is lying on deathbed. In just few days, he is about to depart from this world. He is unable to move also. He is lying on the bed and someone is keeping a dictaphone there. Prabhupada is translating Srimad Bhagavatam, giving commentary. Okay. He has done so much. He has opened so many temples, he has written so many books, and he has made so many devotees. Why? Why even at this stage he has to translate? Someone may think, why there is so much attachment? Why is like this? Why is like this? But that is his service to his Guru. Even till his last breath, he wants to render seva to Guru, to Krishna, to Vaishnavas. That is his compassion. That's an expression of compassion. The very fact that Prabhupada has left this Vrindavan and went to America, carrying that Vrindavan within his heart, is out of compassion. Right? Physically, he traveled from Vrindavan to America, but internally, he is always in Vrindavan. He was missing Vrindavan. Right? So, he opened one temple. Is he not satisfied? Why he is opening second temple? Why third temple? Why 10th temple? Okay. It's not lack of satisfaction. It is compassion. Okay. So, devotees never satiated with any amount of service to the Lord. So, devotees always satisfied at heart with service to the Lord. But whatever may be the amount of seva that devotee does, devotee is not satisfied. He wants to do more seva, hear more Harikatha. Okay. Then, when sadhana is not sincere, dissatisfaction is guaranteed. Okay. And when we are not grateful for what we received in the path of bhakti, we must have received so many privileged opportunities to do this seva, that seva. So there is gratitude for that, then we are satisfied. As I said, all these qualities are connected to each other. I am sitting for a feast, prasadam, and they have served me 10 items. Okay. I can be satisfied with what I got. But there are 12 items in the menu, in the feast menu, and somehow I did not receive 2 items because they're over. The devotees who ate before me are more enthusiastic in eating, probably. So those 2 special items are exhausted. So I already got 10 items, but still there is dissatisfaction of heart. I did not get the 2 items. It's not the need of the body. I will not die. Why do we eat? To live, right? Right? My body will not die if I don't get the 2 items. But the mind is dying now, every moment. Why I did not get? So there is perception of injustice on the part of the servers, prasadam servers. Okay. So a dissatisfied heart always complains, compares, and criticizes. Okay. But a satisfied heart is always grateful for whatever one receives. Okay. So real satisfaction is derived by core practices of bhakti, and a selfless person is satisfied, as we discussed it. Now, once Prahlad Maharaj met an Avadut Brahman, he is not very well dressed. He doesn't look very rich or opulent. He doesn't seem to be having a lot of bank balance or a empire or even few people to take care of him. But he looks very satisfied, extremely satisfied and happy. So Prahlad asked him, what is the reason for your satisfaction and happiness? And the Brahmana said, I don't endeavor to get anything. I am satisfied with whatever comes on its own way, in its own style, according to the Lord's sanction. And I'm very patient and unagitated. So therefore I'm satisfied. Okay. So these are the thoughts of an elevated personality. So I already mentioned that, elaborately we were discussing that satisfaction on the level of senses, where one comes in contact with sense objects, and satisfaction on the level of settled body, that is man, buddhi, ahankar, where someone derives emotional satisfaction of the mind and compatibility, friendship, camaraderie, and intellectual satisfaction of having great ideas and thoughts and analysis and creativity, and egoistic satisfaction where someone where the person dominates someone or establishes his superiority over others somehow or the other, or winning an argument. So there is a egoistic satisfaction derived. But spiritual satisfaction is derived on the level of Harikatha. Okay. So how to be satisfied? How to cultivate satisfaction? Let's have some practical tips. Number one, give up selfish conception. This is my property. This is his property. Okay. So when that kind of selfish thought process is there, that will naturally lead to dissatisfaction. So therefore, one step is to consciously keep aside selfish thoughts, selfish desires. Yes, it's very natural for every living being to think about one's own welfare, and there's nothing wrong in thinking about self-preservation. Yes, self-preservation is important. But self-preservation can be done without selfishness. There's a difference between selfishness and self-preservation. You're doing the needful to maintain yourself, that's not selfishness. Okay. But you're trying to subdue someone else. You're trying to pull down someone else. To climb higher heights, you are trying to stamp on the heads of few people. That is selfishness. To fill your belly, you are snatching the food from someone else's mouth. That is selfishness. If you are endeavoring to fill your belly, that's nothing wrong. That's self-preservation. But if you are discomforting someone or troubling someone for your comfort, that is selfishness. Okay. So, and if you are unable to help someone, even if you can, that is selfishness, right? So, a mother cooks food and feeds the children. And if the children eat everything, okay, without leaving anything for the mother, will the mother be satisfied or frustrated that I did not get anything? She will cook once again, or she will eat whatever is available, not the special items that she has made, something she will do, so that she will do that self-preservation. Okay, she will mitigate her hunger, but she is very happy and satisfied that her kids ate everything that she has cooked with enthusiasm. So, if you want to understand this quality of selflessness and satisfaction, the best example that is available in this material world is mother's example, right? So, satisfaction by selfless service, okay? And that means tolerating inconveniences, naturally tolerating, voluntarily tolerating inconveniences, right? So, now, to be completely satisfied and be devoid of anxiety, one must come to the position of eternally rendering service to the Lord. Savipum samparo dharma. Okay. So, pareshanubhuti, when one experiences joy of discussing Harikatha with other devotees, that fills the heart with satisfaction. And in comparison to selfless service to the Lord and hearing Harikatha sincerely, in comparison to the satisfaction of Harikatha and Hariseva, even Krishna doesn't have anything better to offer us. That's what he told the gopis of Vrindavan. Naparayeham niravadya samyujam. My dear gopis, I don't have anything to offer to you. You have done so much seva to me. You have rendered unlimited service to me, and I don't have the capability to reciprocate with the service that you have rendered to me. So, I would say that may you be satisfied with the service that you have done. May be satisfied with the satisfaction that you are deriving by selflessly serving me. May you be satisfied in that way only. I don't have anything more to offer you. So, what does that mean? Even Krishna doesn't have anything in his treasure house or bank balance to offer us anything more than the satisfaction of selfless service. Okay, that's the highest benediction that Krishna could ever offer. Okay, so okay, I spoke about 37 minutes. If you have any questions, I'll take. Otherwise, I'll continue. We spoke many things in this 37 minutes, 30 minutes. So, any question at this moment, or shall I move ahead? Yes, Paramatma Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thanks for your class, Prabhu. And I was thinking here, a person who gets the real satisfaction, he will not put an endeavor to get anything extraneously. He is satisfied what it comes on its own accord. So that statement seems to be very applicable in those ages. However, in this age, we have to struggle a lot even to get a normal food, shelter, clothing, etc.
Yes.
So, and there is a difference of endeavors of a different people. Someone who may be a very highly qualified person from a great universities might get a good position, or somebody who might get a smaller position. Endeavor is differing, right, Prabhu? How can one sit idle? In one sense, it is not, but how can one get satisfaction? Things are coming on its own accord. How do you understand that? Where he can avoid unnecessary efforts.
So, this has to be customized according to the person. As you said, in the previous ages, Yadrichaya Upupannena Ajagara Vritti. Ajagara Vritti means the activity of a python. Python will just stay at one place. Whatever comes of its own accord, python will swallow and happy. Right? There is no separate chasing for food or anything like that. So, yes, we can't just keep quiet, and whatever comes of its own accord, I will be satisfied. I will take it and be satisfied. It doesn't work like that oftentimes. So, there's nothing wrong in endeavoring for self-preservation. But how much is too much? The person has to decide. How much is too much? The person may even consult some senior people who know him or her very closely and come to some conclusion, right? But self-analysis is very important. Introspection is very important. Carefully analyzing, am I endeavoring for self-preservation or over-endeavoring for extravagant comforts? Okay, so that the individual has to decide and maybe consult a few well-wishers and mature, experienced people around him or her. Makes sense, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, definitely it makes sense, Prabhu. But at a given circumstances, as I'm talking from a householder perspective. One has two kids, the studies, the whole thing. It needs lots of money. And if I have one child, two child, three children, they have to struggle a lot. In one sense, they want to give a good education to the children. Now, good education. Higher education is important, but at the same time, Kunti Maharani's prayer, wherein all these high parentage, high these one are also the obstacles. So how do we correlate and
Kunti Maharani said, Janmaishwarya Srutashribhir Ethamanamadh Puman. There are obstacles, yes, high birth, this and that. There are obstacles if a person is puffed up of these material qualifications. High birth in itself is not an obstacle. If I am proud of my high birth, it's an obstacle. Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri. Aishwarya is great wealth. Shruta is education, high education. And Shri means lot of beauty. So these four qualities, Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri, are not obstacles in themselves, but eda mana madaha puman. When someone gets mada, if one is intoxicated with false pride and false prestige for having these four qualities, that prestige, that pride becomes an obstacle. Okay. Otherwise, Yudhishthir had Janma Aishwarya Shrutashri. Arjuna had, all the Pandavas had Janma Aishwarya Shrutashri. Dhruva Maharaj had, Ambarish Maharaj had, Prithu Maharaj had. So many such great devotee kings are endowed with Janma Aishwarya Shrutashri, but they did not have Mada. They were not proud. Okay, it's like all poor people are pure devotees, all rich people are fallen souls. That may be a conclusion. All illiterate people are pure devotees and all educated people are fallen souls. That's not the message of that shloka. The shloka is you can have all these great material qualifications, no problem in that, but don't get intoxicated by them. Okay. So they are there to serve Krishna. So that high birth or great knowledge, if you have great knowledge, you can share it with others. You have great wealth, you can distribute it to others also as an instrument of Krishna's compassion, right? So whatever facilities or talents or skills or resources that Krishna has given us, if we are in proper consciousness, we can utilize them in Krishna's seva, right? So utility is the principle. But if you're feeling that you are getting distracted by this, okay, we can consciously stay away from them. Okay, it's like you have a mobile phone, so you can utilize in Krishna's service, or we can get distracted from Krishna's service because of this. Same thing with laptop, same thing with money, same thing with name, fame, power, prestige, etc. Right? Talents. Somebody is extremely talented and influential. Okay, but how are they using that influence? To exploit people or to serve people, to serve Krishna? So we need to make that self-analysis. Makes sense, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, definitely. So on the topic of satisfaction, somebody is satisfied with the minimum things, the needs and requirements. That is something which one may think, oh, my child might need these many number of things, and then they will endeavor too much. Satisfaction may be lost at one side when, the children may not be reading or studying the way the parent wants. So there are so many ifs and buts. One may become a greedy person, one may become a more attracted to the endeavors. So there is where is the line drawn?
Yes. So there is a natural. Okay, let me speak about the context of householders, as you said. And let's go a little deeper into the context of a householder who has to raise kids in a certain way. Two things. One, there's nothing wrong in a householder's accumulating more money than necessary. Okay. Why? Why is it justified? How is it justified? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself said, as a householder, you can't just have hand to mouth. Today, I need 130 rupees for my meals. I will earn this much only. So, nothing more. Even if I earn so much, I'll immediately dispatch it to someone. That may not be possible. It may not be practical. That should not be done also, probably. You earn more than what you need. Okay, today you got some engagement that can give you 130 rupees and fill your belly. Tomorrow, if you don't get that engagement, what will we do? Right? So, circumstances of life are not exactly same always, right? So, the point is, a grahastha is allowed to keep some bank balance, extra money, surplus funds. Not so much, but something is required. Suddenly, COVID may come. Right? So where will we go? So some people may lose their job unless they have some sufficient bank balance. How can they attend to the emergency needs? Some health emergency may come, or some friends may be in some trouble. He can always help others. So accumulating more money than required is not a sin on the part of a grahastha. Okay. Second point. As far as children are concerned, having expectations that children should perform in this way or act according to these expectations, nothing wrong in that to some degree. But we can't micromanage people so much. Everybody is an individual with a unique karma, unique talents, unique svabhava. So, Chanakya Pandit gives this one simple formula, and also Prabhupada quotes it several times. First shloka is Lalane bahavo dosha tadane bahavo gunaha tasmat putram cha sishyam cha tadayet natu lalayet. Lalane bahavo dosha. By pampering a child, the doshas will increase. The child's faults will increase. Tadane bahavo gunaha. By chastising the child whenever required. Not chastisement is not like a food that you feed every day, 3 meals. Whenever required, by chastising the child, the good qualities will increase. Okay. But tasmat putram cha sishyam cha tadayat natu lalayat. Therefore, don't pamper the child, be strict. But there is another clause. Next shloka says, I forgot the Sanskrit. Up to age 5, let the kids do whatever they want. Don't try to correct them so much. Little bit fine, okay? But don't have undue expectations from them. They should behave like this, they should behave like that. They're very tender, very small. So up to 5, give them full freedom to explore, okay? But from 5 to 16, Chanakya Pandit says, take a stick. So what does it mean? Not to beat exactly. Mother Yashoda picked up a stick, not to beat Krishna, just to create little fear in Krishna so that he becomes more disciplined. That's the thing. So from 5 to 16 is the time where you train the children in good manners, discipline, and being strict and all that. Appropriate strictness, not undue strictness. Okay, all with a good intention to help them grow as good human beings. Okay, and definitely good devotees. Beyond 16, treat them like friends. Training period is over, and after 16 also training can continue, but not like pulling the ear. And you should sufficiently respect their personality. Okay, their svabhava. You can't micromanage. For example, you are teaching the child writing. So they are writing, A, B, C, D. So I remember my father used to be very strict with me in my handwriting. The kind of strokes that I give in A, B, C, D, G, right, is very particular about it. This is my father's handwriting is like a row of pearls even at this age. He's above 60. Okay. So, and for all the other employees in his company, in his office, they write, and at the end they have to type and send. But when my father writes, they don't have to type it. They have to scan and then send it. They have to take a photograph and then send it wherever the letter has to go. So like that, but he had a lot of expectations that I should also have handwriting like that. By his training, I also got reasonably good handwriting, but not at his level. So point is, sometimes there may be some reasonable expectations from the children. Sometimes there may be very unreasonable expectations from the children. So try to balance it beyond 16, especially. These are the inputs given by Acharyas.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes,
Next
Rajat.
question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavata Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. I was contemplating on the point about appreciation, Prabhu. Giving and receiving appreciation, actually. Sometimes, as you mentioned, it's very difficult to take appreciation of one's service and not be affected by that. In the sense, although you know that your effort that you're putting in is only because of Guru and Krishna's mercy, you still feel good when somebody appreciates that, that effort. So maybe if you could add a little more on how to, dovetail that to Guru and Krishna and how
when
do you
someone
handle
is
appreciation?
Yes, when someone is genuinely appreciating us, genuinely, the vibes, the positive vibes that they generate will only nourish us. We should take their genuine appreciation as an encouragement and as an acknowledgement for our services. Okay, I did this service. Ultimately, I do service to please Guru, Krishna, Vaishnavas. And this Vaishnava is pleased with my seva and is expressing that happiness. So you take it as an acknowledgement for your service and continue to do the good work, good service. Okay. When we receive feedbacks from others, when they say, oh, this service is not good in this way, you need to improve here. So take that feedback and improve yourself. And they're giving good appreciation for our good service, then take it as an encouragement and acknowledgement and then continue like that. Continue to perform in a similar way. So appreciation is not always bad. It can sometimes be bad when we get intoxicated by that appreciation, when we become attached to that appreciation, when we do service only to receive that appreciation. That's very detrimental, right? So sometimes devotees genuinely appreciate us, that nourishes us, that gives us some satisfaction of heart. Okay, my service pleased this Vaishnavas, then we move ahead in doing that good service. But sometimes appreciation could be an expression of envy. Somebody is telling, you are expert in everything, right? So there is a sarcasm there sometimes. Sometimes an intolerance. How can you do everything expertly? So now that you may not confront with the person why are you being sarcastic, just keep quiet and fine, ignore it. Okay, don't take it so seriously, don't become discouraged and all that. And I think we sufficiently discussed. Does it make sense for what we discussed?
Yeah. Just a related. Yes, no, thank you. Just a little related point on appreciating others as well. Sometimes we may think that, okay, if I appreciate this devotee, maybe he'll feel proud. So sometimes, he's just doing it so as a service. He has to do that service. Yes. I think that is also something that we should, avoid.
Yeah, you can think in those lines. If they are your disciples or children or some youngsters whom you are raising, you are responsible for them completely. Okay, they are your responsibility. So a father, if he overly pampers the child by appreciating and praising whatever the child does, the child may take it positively, but sometimes he may not take it positively and he may get little distracted and then proud. So we need to balance that. But in the case of other devotees, peers, and with whom we don't have so much of such kind of guardian relationship, we don't have to be miserly in appreciating them. Okay, if I appreciate, he will become proud. I will not appreciate only. By appreciating the good qualities and good service of another Vaishnava, we will make spiritual advancement. Why should I miss that opportunity to appreciate others? Right? So speak few good words. Genuinely. Not that, okay, I appreciate him and then he will do my work tomorrow. Not in that mood. Okay. Genuinely, if you appreciate someone's good service to Krishna and Vaishnavas, that will nourish us, that will help us establish good relationships, and we'll become closer to Krishna. When you praise a child, mother will become happy, father will become happy. Okay. Similarly, Krishna is the supreme parent, Radharani is the supreme mother. When we appreciate devotees, Radha Krishna will become happy, you will become happy, they will become happy. So, and we generate a lot of positive vibrations. We fill the ether with positivity. So that's good. We don't have to restrict our appreciation. But when you're specifically acting as a guardian, caretaker, guru, teacher, parent of somebody, and if you see some kind of pride and arrogance in a person, in his own accomplishments, you may restrict that appreciation just for his welfare. If he is little arrogant and proud, okay, if I appreciate more, he will sit here. Okay, so we should not increase that. So that's, we should have the balance.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Prabhu. Charana Renu, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, I have two questions. The first question is, how do we understand the exact difference between the satisfaction and the laziness? Because sometimes what happens, we go into the tendency of just accepting the things which comes on the way with easy go. We don't incline to put effort as being on the name of satisfaction. So how do we draw the exact line between the satisfaction and putting the effort to go in any of the service or any career or anything what we do in life?
So it's a very, very important question that you have asked, Prabhu. So how to balance satisfaction and ambition? So satisfaction does not mean to be stagnant, right? So ambition must be there. Now you see, satisfied heart is free from undue attachments, envy, pride, greed, right? We discussed it elaborately. And a satisfied heart doesn't feel the need to accumulate more or hanker for recognition, name, fame, or praise by others. A satisfied person is very grateful for what one has and what one is by God's grace. We discussed all this elaborately. Second point, one should be satisfied with whatever one acquires by honest means. That also implies that one should not encroach upon someone else's property or others' rights, right? If I am satisfied with what I have and what I am, I will not encroach upon someone else's rights, someone else's opportunities. If I am satisfied with what is there in my plate, I will not look at taking some items from someone else's plate. Okay, so these are the points that we discussed. But another important point is satisfaction does not mean to be stagnant or unproductive or settle down to a meager performance or not grow to our full potential that Krishna has bestowed upon us, right? So that is not satisfaction. One can have ambitions, definitely, but one's attempts to fulfill those ambitions should not harm others, either mentally or physically, internally or externally. Don't harm others. You be ambitious, no problem. But that ambition should be balanced with proper care for oneself and others. So because I am ambitious to achieve something, there is an ambition. Prabhupada has an ambition to establish a international, worldwide society, right? if ambition has a negative connotation, then make it a desire, not ambition. So when I say ambition, I'm just taking it as a very simple, neutral word that indicates that a person has some goals, some desires, some positive, fulfilling, uplifting, and purposeful, good ambitions. Okay, that's good. So, but one need not be passionate to be productive. One must cultivate that sattva guna and balance one's desires or ambitions with the right kind of habits, yukta ahara viharasya, yukta cheshtasya karmasya, and all that. Okay, so one should be satisfied at heart. At the same time, one can try to increase one's service to Krishna. As I said a couple of times in today's session only, we need not be in the name of satisfaction. We need not settle down to a meager performance. A devotee is never satisfied by any amount of service done to Krishna, any amount of katha, Krishna katha that he has heard. Does it make sense, Prabhu? Is it?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. So, Prabhu, basically what happened, like I have seen some of the devotees' case while working, they accepted whatever comes on the way in the terms of work, and they were continuing. But what happens as gradual time, the technology upgrades, the time changes. They just accepted whatever came on the way. So in future, long run, right, you have to be competent in order to sustain in the job and the career.
Paramatma Prabhu asked a similar question.
Hmm.
We discussed on this. So how much is too much? The individual has to decide. Okay, there's nothing wrong in keeping some extra bank balance or nothing wrong in having more accomplishments to establish yourself in that position. Right?
Okay.
For example, a researcher is there. He already had published 10 papers, technical papers in different conferences and journals. But to establish himself in that research field nicely, as a professor or an assistant professor or a person who holds some doctorate, a PhD, he may have to publish 5 more papers. He is satisfied with 10 papers, but to maintain his position in that research field, to maintain the relevance of what he is speaking there, he can have more papers, right? Not a problem. Okay. So how much is too much? The individual has to decide whether it is ati prayasa or shramayavahi kevalam, or it has some utility in one's professional life and personal life, social life. So that we cannot be impractical. So we need to do the needful, okay, to maintain ourselves in this world.
Okay, clear. Thank you. The second question I have is, Prabhu, in order to be present Krishna consciousness, we want to be always in the top to inspire others to take Krishna consciousness. So how do we understand that? Are we doing an over endeavor for our own false ego, or we are really doing for inspiring them to Krishna consciousness, or we should be satisfied with minimal? How do we draw the exact balance between these three?
Now, you mentioned in Krishna consciousness, we always want to be in the top. What does it mean?
In our field, we want to be in the top. When we are in job, right? We want to we are representing Krishna and devotees. So we want to be
No. It's not necessary that we have to be on the top always. We need to do our best. We don't have to be the best in that field. Okay. We don't have to be. If you can be, that's fine. If it's natural for you, you have that talents and all. So endeavor in the right direction with the right intent. If you happen to be in the top, that's fine. Not a problem. Being in top is not wrong. But our endeavor is not to be the best, but to do our best. Okay. Whether it is in devotional services or even in our corporate circles or professional circles. So our endeavor is always to do our best, to the best of God-given
Ability.
talents. Thank you.
Okay,
Archana
thank you.
Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Sorry Prabhu, we confused in daylight timing today, so got late. So as always, very wonderful hearing from you, Prabhu. So I have 3 quick questions if time permits, otherwise you can uh, tell me, Prabhu. So and these corporates that we are living in, corporate worlds, they are made up of, like, that is my understanding at least, that are made up on exploitation basically. And even I do some recruitments and all, and I see that so much, like, they are paid less, and the company keeps the profit a lot. So in such an environment, how can we protect ourselves from that toxicity, that even we might feel that we are being exploited to some level? So I just want to understand, Prabhu, how to just refrain ourselves from thinking that, okay, they are exploiting us, they are paying us less, and just be happy in serving Krishna.
No, if they're exploiting, you should raise your voice. Why we shall have to tolerate exploitation? Small inconveniences we can adjust. That much tolerance we should have. But in the name of tolerance, we don't have to allow ourselves to get exploited unduly by others.
It is seeming exploitation, Prabhu. I mean, it's not like direct, but like in terms of less payments or not acknowledging the performance, something like that.
That's fine. That's what I'm saying. No? You see what is the degree of exploitation there. Okay. If I'm not receiving what I'm supposed to receive from them, is it affecting my career? Is it affecting my peace of mind? Is it affecting me professionally, socially? What is the extent of that effect? Accordingly, take a decision, right? If some small, as I said, small inconvenience, small discomfort, we can tolerate. But if it's something major, significant, it has a significant impact on our lives, we must express it. Do the needful to come out of it. You don't have to just keep quiet and then let things go like that.
So Prabhu, by applying the teachings, if our mind settles down, let's say we think that they have their own quota, we have our own quota, and Krishna understands, he knows what we want, what we are doing, and he's providing us, then...
No, Arjuna also felt like that at one point. Arjuna said, it's okay, let them take Hastinapur, I'll go to the forest and then chant, do some meditation. Krishna said, don't do that. Go and fight with them, right? Arjuna said, I will tolerate their adharma, no problem, but I cannot tolerate their death. Krishna said the opposite. Don't tolerate their adharma, tolerate separation from them. Kill them. They have sided adharma, whether it is Bhishma or Drona, they have sided adharma, you have to kill them. Don't tolerate their adharma, but tolerate separation from them, right? So what is the exact tolerance that Krishna is teaching? Not tolerating adharma. Krishna is teaching tolerating inevitable inconveniences. Matra sparshasta kauntaya sita ushna sukha dukkadaha. Tolerate sukha and dukkha. Don't tolerate adharma. Okay. If someone is behaving inappropriately in front of you, with you, you have all rights to raise your voice and then confront that adharma, especially when you have capacity. Some things are beyond our control. We can't do much. Right. Kamsa is doing so much of havoc. Okay. And some simple brahmanas are there. They did not have the ability to confront. What they should do? They should wait for Krishna to come and kill Kamsa. Right? But every time we don't have to wait for Krishna to come and then come as an avatar and then kill adharma, right?
Yes.
Krishna taught us dharma in the form of Gita Bhagavatam, and you have the ability to implement that dharma. So when Krishna says paritranaya sadhunam vinayashaya dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya, he said these 3 things, right? Sambhavam yuyege, I come to do these 3 things. But he did not come always to do these 3 things. He will empower some of his devotees also to do these 3 things. Yes. In Vrindavan, Krishna personally killed demons. In Kurukshetra, he did not kill anyone. He did Paritranaya Sadhana Vinashaya Dushkritam Dharma Samsthapana through Arjuna, through Bhima, through Yudhishthira, right? So why should we underutilize God-given intelligence and resources and manpower and speaking abilities? Why should we underutilize them in confronting with adharma? Not that you have to just confront with everything at every level, but at least on a personal level. A personal level, or like extended family or whatever, at that level, we can always address things. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Not in a very aggressive way, but in a very dignified way, but in a sober way, gentle way. Not to aggressively, not in a way that it distracts us from our bhakti. Sometimes to confront with adharma, people just leave bhakti. Okay, let me just rectify the mentality of all these people, then I will begin chanting Hare Krishna. When Prabhupada went to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, now you spread Krishna consciousness in English language. Prabhupada said, first we have to get independence. We have to chase away these Britishers. We have to get independent. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, we can't wait for that. When will that happen? We don't know. Let's focus on this. So there should be a balance. Okay.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. So,
Protect bhakti
yeah.
and confront with adharma. Okay, let me continue with satisfaction. We have only 20 minutes. So in the 7th canto Bhagavatam, there's a beautiful shloka. Sada santushta manasah sarvaha shivamaya dishah Sharkara kantakadibhyo yathopanat padah shivam. Sada santushta manasaha. One who is always satisfied at heart. Sarvaha shivamaya dishaha. For such a person, all the directions are auspicious. Sharkara kantakadibhyo yathopanat padah shivam. Very beautiful analogy is given. For someone who is walking barefoot, pebbles and thorns and heat on the road will affect the feet, isn't it? So it's already somewhere when we go outside with barefoot, feet will be burnt, and thorns may pierce, pebbles may pierce, stones may pierce. Okay, but one who is wearing proper shoes, he will not be pierced by all the thorns or pebbles or be tortured by heat, isn't it? Similarly, one who is wearing the shoes of satisfaction will always be happy, will not be affected by the ups and downs of this material world, isn't it? So, satisfaction is that shoe that protects us from all kinds of difficulties in this world. Okay, so then Prabhupada's statement is there. Let me just open it somewhere. Prabhupada said, when I was in Vrindavan alone, I never attempted to construct mathas or temples. Rather, I was fully satisfied with the small amount of money I could gather by selling back to Godhead. And thus, I would provide for myself and also print the literature. When I went to foreign countries, I lived according to the same principle. But when Europeans and Americans began to give money profusely, I started temples and deity worship. The same principle still be followed, should be followed. Whatever money is collected should be spent for Krishna and not a farthing for sense gratification. This is Bhagavata principle. Okay. So Prabhupada at heart, on a personal level, he is satisfied with meager facilities. But when Krishna is providing more money, more talents, he is using everything to construct temples and establish deity worship, etc. Okay. So Prabhupada says in Gita purports, for those who are satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence don't exist anymore. Okay. So there are many more things, but one statement by Prabhupada in the first canto purports, the secret of success in spiritual life is in satisfying the spiritual master and thereby getting his sincere blessings. Okay. So the secret of success in spiritual life is in satisfying the Guru. What satisfies Guru? You give 1 lakh donation to Guru, 1 crore donation to Guru, will it satisfy? It can, but that's not the main thing. Or you perform big tasks to satisfy Guru. Yeah, that may also satisfy Guru, but that's not the main thing. What satisfies Guru's heart is when the disciple is sincerely following the instructions given by Guru. The instructions can be related to service sometimes or many times, but the main instruction is to maintain the consciousness, proper consciousness. Tranadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna. Because the instructions related to service keep changing. Today, the Guru may ask, do this service. Tomorrow, do that service. Engage in this construction service, or do this book distribution service, or do this worship service, or do this PR service, legal service, do this agriculture, do this. So the instructions may keep changing according to time, place, circumstances when it comes to service. But some things are permanent. What are the permanent instructions? Chant the holy names of Krishna. Maintain a humble state of mind. So these are permanent instructions. Whatever service you may be doing, whether it is preaching service or teaching service or cow service or deity service, whatever may be the service, the mood has to be humble. So humility. So when we maintain that Vaishnava mood along with being meticulous in our service also, that will satisfy the spiritual master. Okay, then we'll get sincere blessings. Okay, so satisfaction of spiritual master is the life and soul of a disciple. Chakravarti says that I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master. Only by his satisfaction can one please the Supreme Lord. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. Okay. So, yes, there are many other points to discuss, but I would like to go to the next one more point, because today happens to be the last session, 8th session. I will just address on some other topic, not craving for credit. Okay, this is another topic. All these topics can be elaborately discussed, but I'll just pick a few points on that. When we are humble, when we consider ourselves dependent on Krishna's grace and Guru's grace, Vaishnava's grace, so there is no craving for credit for one's activities. So let me give a couple of examples. Srila Prabhupada, he has translated Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita, of course, and Bhagavatam, several cantos, and then at the end of CC translation, Prabhupada says, if there is any credit for my translation work, all that belongs to my Guru Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. It was because of his desire and his instruction that I am engaged in this translation work and preaching work. Whatever credit is there, it all goes to my Guru. Then he also gave credit to his disciples. The credit to my translation work also goes to my disciples who assisted me in printing, publication, proofreading, this and that. So Prabhupada did not keep any credit for himself. It's only because of my Guru and my disciples things are happening. And Prabhupada even said that I am Bhakti Vedanta Swami, but I neither have Bhakti nor Vedanta. I'm not a great scholar, I'm not a great devotee. But still, through me, a lot of service is being done. Only by the grace of Guru and the assistance of disciples, I'm just an instrument. So, a devotee is very, very committed, determined, ambitious, quote unquote, passionate, to not a negative word, but positively, passionate to render a lot of service to Guru, Krishna, Vaishnavas, and humanity. But there is absolutely no desire to take credit. There is no greed to take credit for one's activities. Humbly, the devotee passes on to the parampara and other Vaishnavas and ultimately Krishna, right? And what about Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur? In his Sarartha Darshani commentary, right in the first purport, Chakravarti says that I have studied the commentary by Sridhar Swami, Bhagavad commentary by Sridhar Swami. And I also studied Vaishnava Toshani commentary by Sanatana Goswami. I also read the Shat Sandarbhas of Jiva Goswami. After reading so much of literature given to us by the Acharyas, I also developed a desire to glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, I am starting this commentary called Sarartha Darshani commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. If I am doing it out of my own foolishness or arrogance, then it will only produce mockery. But if I am doing it just to please Guru, Krishna and Vaishnavas, every single word of my commentary will only give bliss to the readers. Okay. So, you know what he said? In short, he's saying that if there is anything good in my service, the credit goes to Guru, Krishna, Vaishnavas. If there is any blame, I am to be blamed. If there is any mistakes in this service, I am to be blamed. I did the mistake, right? I did it out of my own foolishness or arrogance or whatever. Okay. So the general tendency of an average human being is to claim credit and shift blame. But the tendency of a pure devotee, a sincere devotee, is to accept responsibility for mistakes and transfer credits to seniors, superiors. Okay, Guru, Krishna, Vaishnavas. So if we can imbibe this mood, our relationships with other devotees also will be very nice. Because craving for credit spoils relationships. Hankering for credit. Okay, this task has been accomplished by me. Yes, for information's sake, you can tell, I have done this. Right, you have booked tickets for yatra. You don't want to take credit. The coordinator asks you, did you book ticket? No, I did not book. Then he will rebook. Better you say you booked it, right? If you are giving an information, it's not giving credit. Who has written this? I have written this. Okay, fine. You are giving an information, not claiming credit. There is no pride involved. It's an information. If you have not written, he will get it written through someone else, right? So just give information of what you have done, okay, whenever it is necessary, not in a mode of boasting, not in a mode of taking credit, but just passing on the accurate, right information, right? So, yes, shifting blame and not taking responsibility for mistakes or justifying mistakes is the common tendency of a common person, but devotees are very genuine that they just transfer all credit to Guru, Krishna, Vaishnavas. Without them, and it's a fact also, without them, who am I? Right? Without they empowering me and blessing me to do what I'm doing, where is the possibility of me accomplishing anything? Now, the best examples of this principle are the Pandavas. So, Arjuna told Yudhishthira Maharaj, he said that Vanchitoham Maharaja Harina Bandhurupina Yena Mepahritam Tejo Deva Vismapanam Mahat. Vanchitoham Maharaja, my dear friend, Krishna has departed from this world and I have been cheated. And Harina Bandhurupina Yena me apahritam tejo. With his departure, all my powers are also gone. My powers are gone now. With those powers, I could even mesmerize great devatas. Shiva is impressed with me. Indra is impressed with me. So many other great personalities are impressed with me. Arjuna was a great celebrity, warrior in those days. He had a lot of military certificates. He's the favorite student of his Guru, Drona. But that Arjuna is saying that I could not even defeat some infidel cowherds in Krishna's absence. Tadvai dhanushta ishavaha saratho hayaste soham rathi nrpatayo yata anamanti sarvam kshanena tadabhuda sadisha riktam bhasmam hutam kuhakaradhamivopamushyam. He said that I am the same Arjuna, I have the same Gandiva bow, same chariot, same arrows, and everything, same horses, everything is same. But in Krishna's absence, I could not do anything. When Krishna was there, I could accomplish many things. I could just confront with Bhima, Drona, many people, right? But because Krishna is not there, I could not do anything. So all my prowess are like oblations into ashes. They are like money created by magic wand. A magician is there, he will just do like this, take white paper or some newspaper clips, and then he will do like this. And 2000 rupees rupee notes will come out, right? So what is the use of all that? Because if he can create so many 2000 rupee notes, like by doing like this, why is he doing magic shows? He can be a multimillionaire, right? So whatever he has done is on magic only, right? Nothing more. Maybe he will keep some real notes, 1 or 2, and he will just do some kind of gimmick to manifest that real notes, and he will hide the original notes. So they will do like this, and then real notes will come out, right? So if they can create money like that, why are they doing these magic shows? Just for remuneration of 1000 rupees. He's creating 10 2000 rupee notes, and after 1 hour show, he will get 1000 rupees as a reimbursement, as a payment. It doesn't make any sense, right? So my powers are also like that without Krishna. Arjuna is saying this, Arjuna's realization. Yudhishthira Maharaj said that whatever prosperity we have, whatever victories that we have attained in our wars with different people, our wives, our kingdom, our prosperity, our citizens, everything is only because of Krishna. Yudhishthira Maharaj said this. Kunti Maharani is saying, Krishna, are you leaving my sons now? Who will protect them? Then Krishna said, Bhima is there, Arjuna is there, they are such warriors, so don't worry. Then Kunti Maharani said, they are like senses, bodily senses, and you are the soul. Without the soul, will all the strong bodily senses function in you? You are the soul, Krishna. If you leave, they are nothing. So repeatedly, this is being told that we are doing whatever we are doing in our devotional path only by Krishna's grace and Guru's grace. So where is our credit? Our only credit is we desire to serve Krishna. We used our minute independence to do some service to Krishna instead of doing sense gratification. So that independence, utility of our minute independence is the only credit for us, right? And that for that also, so many people have inspired us to do so. Credit goes to them. So what are we then? Our job is not, we don't have much role to play. And now, who is that? Dhruva Maharaj. He came and offered obeisances to Lord Vishnu. He did 6 months tapasya, and Vishnu came and Dhruva offered obeisances. And after getting up, he thought, I must glorify the Lord. I must praise the Lord. But he did not have sufficient vocabulary or experience or grammatical abilities or poetic abilities to offer prayers, compose prayers. So the Lord understood his awkward situation. He picked up his conch shell, Panchajanya, and touched the forehead of Dhruva. And Dhruva is bestowed with entire Vedic knowledge of scriptures. And he started glorifying the Lord with eloquent prayers. So even to offer prayers to the Lord, even the ability to offer prayers to the Lord also comes from the Lord only. And what is Dhruva's role there? He desired to offer prayers. If we have willingness to render service to the Lord, the ability to do service comes from the Lord only. Okay. Brahma, in the beginning of creation, he offered prayers to the Lord. And the Lord said, my dear Brahma, I am empowering you to do the service of creation. So without the Lord's blessings, Krishna's blessings, even Brahma cannot create the universe. Arjuna cannot win Kurukshetra war. Bhima cannot kill the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra. Dhruva cannot even offer prayers. Okay. And Yudhishthira cannot become the king, we also cannot do anything without Krishna's grace. If all this discussion is true, how can we claim credit for our activities? For our devotional accomplishments, how can we claim credit? Considering all this discussion. So, there is this example. I think Prabhupada's purport or somewhere. A crow takes some peacock feathers and puts in its tail, saying that I am so beautiful, I am so beautiful. Right? So how can a crow become beautiful by keeping peacock feathers? The peacock feathers are definitely looking beautiful, but the crow is making them ugly also, in that sense, right? So it's a misfit. So similarly, one who tries to claim credit for one's devotional activities is only making himself a joker, like the crow. Okay, how can we claim credit for our activities? So we need to transfer the credit to Guru, Krishna, Vaishnavas and Acharyas and the Parampara. And when we are doing the activity, it's our full responsibility. We should do it with full commitment. Okay, full energy, God-given energy. Energy is given to the Lord, given by the Lord. Intelligence is given by the Lord. Facility is given by the Lord. So we use all these faculties to serve Krishna, right? By rightly analyzing our minute free will, right? We do that and give credit to Krishna. Krishna, everything happened by your grace. I have built the temple, but without your grace, how can I build a temple? I cannot even collect one brick also. So when we are in the instrument consciousness, we can come closer to Krishna. When we are in accomplishment consciousness, we go away from Krishna, right? So whatever devotional accomplishments that we have are only because Krishna agreed to use us as an instrument. He has so many instruments. For example, I'm signing with this pen. The pen claims credit. I have signed. I have signed. It's foolishness. If not this pen, I will use another pen to sign. Similarly, if not me, Krishna will use someone else for that service, right? So now I am doing some service, whether it is like giving this class or doing some DT seva or cleaning or mopping or brooming the temple or doing some kitchen seva or doing some sabji cutting or cook something. If I am doing something, I am fortunate to receive that opportunity to do that something in Krishna's service. If not me, someone else will do it. If I don't cook for the deities today, some other cook will come. If I don't do aarti for the deities today, someone else will come. They asked me to do dressing today, Vrindavan Vihari dressing. I said morning 7 o'clock I have class. And I just got up this morning. Parvat Prabhu messaged me, 6 o'clock is the class. Okay, fine, 6 o'clock is the class. So yesterday I told them I cannot dress today. Okay, because I have a class. And because I have not done that seva, someone else is doing that seva. Seva will not stop, right? So for doing that seva, if I take credit, then it's foolishness, right? Because that service can be done by anyone else. So Krishna is using us as instruments in his service. So when we are in this consciousness, we can come closer to Krishna. When we are greedy for credit, Krishna says, okay, fine, stay in the material world, continue to hanker for credit. But if we say, Krishna, everything is happening because of you, then Krishna, come here, come to spiritual world, right? So this world is a place of people who want to think themselves doers, enjoyers, masters, controllers, proprietors. But when we give up this mentality of doership, enjoyership and all, Krishna invites us to the spiritual world. There the master, proprietor, enjoyer is Krishna, who gives more enjoyment to his devotees than he accepts for himself, right? So with this, I'll conclude today's session and also our course. Okay. I thought of taking a few extra sessions, but somehow next week I'm in Bangalore, next Tuesday. If you want, we can take one more extra session also, no problem. 21st I'm in Bangalore. 28th may be a possibility. Up to you. If you feel the need, then we'll take one extra session. Otherwise, we have discussed sufficiently in 8 weeks.
No, Prabhu, it is, as you said, it is, we are not satisfied. Hearing from
Not satiated.
Yes.
we want to hear again and again and again. I know I sent a message, but I would really humbly request you, Prabhu, after Bangalore trip or whatever trip, if you have one more session, we don't want to limit that, but we want to hear and try to apply. The way you are speaking is more to do for the application. When I'm hearing, I'm seeing myself, oh, I'm not applying this, I'm not able to do that or this. I guess that's what everyone is also getting that knowledge and trying to get that. Please, Prabhu, so 21st Tuesday, is that you're available, you said, Prabhu?
21st, I'm out of station. I can do from there also. It could become hectic. And 28th, we can do one more session.
Okay, Prabhu. 28th.
But after that 1 month, I am not there. At least 3 weeks. 28th is the only possibility for a 9th session, extra session.
Let's make the 9th session a final session from your side. Of course, we don't want to make anything final. And that's one thing. And the second thing is, I just wanted to inform everybody here, we are making all arrangements for Gauranga Darshan Prabhu to come in person to Chicago. So stay tuned with this wonderful news.
Yay!
Haribol.
So we will definitely send you all the details, required ones. So we are very much thankful to you, Prabhu. We'll be waiting for the 28th, which will be 27th evening for us. And 6 a.m. is okay, Prabhu? It's a daylight saving already started.
Okay, 6 a.m. is fine.
Okay, Prabhu. Then thank you so much, Prabhu. Then
thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very
much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you everyone.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.